Yeah, welcome in. Welcome back to another episode of Format Podcast, Saturday Night Live. So apologies. I know that in my spiel, we normally go live at 7 o'clock on Saturday nights, but life gets in the way sometimes. We have some stuff going on, but we're here to kick it with you because that's what we do, and we are going to talk some sports, man. Before we get to that, you know what time it is. If you're here on YouTube and you haven't already, please make sure you go ahead, click that like, that subscribe, that notification bell. Make sure you're kept up to date whenever we drop new content on the channel. If you want the audio-only version of the podcast, open up your audio podcast platform, hit the search bar, type in The Format Podcast, and we should come right up. If you're enjoying the content, make sure you give us that like, that 5-star review, and drop a comment. All that stuff helps us rise in the algorithm, helps us find more sports fans, helps more sports fans find us. And finally, make sure you write it down, put it in your phone, set an alarm, do whatever you got to do to remember. Saturday nights at 7 p.m. we are live here on the Format Podcast, and we'll give you the opportunity to call in, talk to us, get at me. I love it. I can't wait. All right. So we got some pretty interesting topics for you here tonight. As you can see from the thumbnail. Yeah, definitely. We're going to talk some Josh Allen for MVP. We're going to talk the mega trade that took place last night in the NBA. We're going to talk the one and only legendary Shaq Diesel, the Big Shaq, the big, one of his many nicknames. I don't even know. He got a ton of nicknames, but we're going to talk about him and his, there you go, and his all-time starting five. And we're going to talk about the legendary Laker, Magic Johnson himself, and his comments on Bronny James. Next up, I believe that's me. All right, let's get to it. Karl Anthony Towns to the New York Knicks. Shocker of a blockbuster trade last night. You know what's the first thing I thought when I heard this? I didn't mention it last night because I know we were all texting about it. You know what's the first thing I thought?
What's up?
I thought, damn, Woj should have stuck around just long enough to drop this last bomb. That would have been
that would have went out. That's Woj fashion.
Yes,
that would have went. He would have now went out on Woj fashion.
Yes,
it would have been perfect. Then he could have said he was retiring.
Right. Imagine he dropped that Woj bomb and say, "Thank you, I'm stepping away now."
Like, all right, I'm out.
Yeah,
like Kobe Bryant, Mike dropped that joint. Like,
exactly.
I'm out.
Mamba out. Yeah, that would have been fire. But yeah, so I think Shams Charania actually broke this story, but. Yes, Karl Anthony Towns is headed to the New York Knicks, and let's hear what SportsCenter had to say about that when the news dropped. This is from last night.
Karl Anthony Towns on the move out of Minnesota. Developing story here on SportsCenter. The New York Knicks and Minnesota are finalizing a trade involving Julius Randle and Dante Divencinzo, along with the first-round draft pick for Karl Anthony Towns. First reported by The Athletic and confirmed by ESPN. A third team, the Charlotte Hornets, also is a part of the trade to absorb additional salary. And take a look at this tweet right here that Karl Anthony sent out just about an hour ago after seeing the trade, and I'm curious to see what the story behind that ellipsis will be.
So, yeah, that was crazy. When I heard that, I was like, oh, my gosh. So one of the other things I thought was the Knicks are kind of breaking up the Villanova foursome, right?
With Divencinzo?
Yeah, you're right, sending him away because you had Divencinzo,
Josh Hart,
Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, and Mikal Bridges, right?
Yep.
And so, they still got 3 of the 4, right? So
that's good.
It's not that serious. Yes, this is the second time Karl Anthony Towns is playing for Coach Tibbs, which I thought was interesting, right? He does not strike me as a Coach Tibbs type of player, does he?
Negative.
Does he strike you as one?
Tibbs is a hard, all game, heavy minute, tough practice.
That's right.
Towns is, he's like a Caleb Williams of the NBA. Was that too much? Was that too much?
I'm good with it.
Okay.
I'm good
all
with it.
All right.
Yeah. I'm good with that.
Soft. Capital T.
Yeah. No. I tell you what, though, I think it makes the East even more exciting, the Eastern Conference, because now you have the Knicks with a real good 1-2 punch in Karl Anthony Towns, Jalen Brunson. And of course, you have the Sixers, Paul George and Joel Embiid, if Embiid can stay healthy. Of course, you got defending champion Celtics. You should have an improved Milwaukee Bucks with Dame Lillard with another year in the system. And of course, Doc Rivers another year as a head coach, a full offseason. So, you have an up-and-coming Orlando squad. You have a solid Cleveland squad. I mean, the East should be interesting.
It's building up. It's
man.
definitely.
Yeah, it is.
Don't forget the Pacers. Pacers also decent.
That's right. Right. The Pacers went to the Eastern Conference Finals last year.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it's definitely loading up over there. It's looking like the West, and I like that for them.
I like it too.
It's been for years that it's been only 2 or 3 teams in the East that you were ever worried about.
Right.
Now it's getting to that point where, like, okay, teams are loading up. They're trading away, getting solid weapons, getting big weapons, major players, and making the necessary moves to, have a shot at that title. And I think the Knicks, they smelt it last year. I know Jalen Brunson had that injury. They had another injury to Michelle Robinson. He went down. I want to say Julius Randle was hurt already. Yeah. So,
Robinson
you have
hurt
injury. So. Yeah. Robinson was hurt too. So you had those injuries, and where you felt like you could have, beat the Pacers in that series and, made it to play the Boston Celtics and give them your best effort at that. But no, I mean, this move right here, it was a shocker, dude. I mean, I knew Julius Randle was on the block. Yeah. I mean, you had to been blind enough not to see that he's been on the block for a while. But it's the Minnesota part for me. Like, what was going on? Like, you guys just made the conference finals in the West. Like,
that's right.
That was weird for me. Like, was there any ruffles that him and Ant was beefing or something? Like,
I don't know if they were beefing. I guess Minnesota just felt like they had to make the move, and Cat wasn't. He wasn't going to get them there. But you never know, too. This might be a move to make another move. You know what I'm saying? True, you know how that goes in the NBA. But I think it's very interesting. I don't know, man. I don't know. Yorkel, what's good, man? Haven't seen you here before. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe. I appreciate you hopping in.
Notice what that what is I
see it.
Thing is.
That's clearly a New Yorker. Absolutely.
We talk Knicks. We talk the
right.
Hey, I got something to say. Get it off your chest, Yorkel.
Right. That's a New York. Right. Gee, what's good, my brother? What's good, man? Good to see you.
Good, G.
But yeah, so this Karl Anthony Towns move, I think, is very interesting because now, obviously Boston is the defending champions. They're no longer hunters. They are the hunted. Yep. Everybody's coming for Tatum.
Tay bum.
Don't even stop. In all seriousness, we know the Celtics are a well-constructed team, but what I can say is, damn, vicious. But
they can't get nowhere. They can't go nowhere.
Yeah, man. No, but what I can say is that the Celtics obviously were a well-constructed championship-level team who won it all, but to G's point and to all of our points, they had an easy path to get through there, based on the fact that they faced a lot of teams that had injuries, right? So now you have the fact of, I know, right? I know, Nino. Hey, man, I guess you don't want to. He's ducking the smoke. Nino, watch this. G, Nino, he's pulling the LeBron. He don't want to go one-on-one with me.
Shots fired.
Yeah. No, but now you're looking at this, and all these teams are loading up, saying, okay, if we're healthy, we can beat the Celtics. Whether or not that's true remains to be seen, but all these teams are prepared to do it because, like we said, you got Philly loaded up, Tyrese Maxey, Paul George, Joel Embiid, and then you of course you have now you have this new look Knicks team, and like you said, you have Indiana, you still have Cleveland. Like this, the East is good now, man. The East is good.
It's going to be very competitive. I like.
Yeah,
it.
I just hope guys can stay healthy. Nino, what's the thumbs down, man? What's that about?
I think that's the answer to Yorkel. Is Cat a better forward than Randle? I don't know. I like Randle's toughness more. Yes, though.
Randle has more toughness, but I think what happens is Cat as a big gives you more floor spacing to let what's my man's name? Jalen Brunson work even more. So I mean, he shot Cat was like 22 points per game, 50% from the field and 40% from three last year. Like I think he was the only player in the league to do 20 points per game, 50 and 40. So I mean, he can do that. Me personally, I've never been a fan of Cat because I like bigs that play like bigs, and he wants to play like some small forward. I don't really like that, but
he
it is what
plays. He
it is.
plays
He
at the
plays how he
3-point line
plays.
a lot.
Yes,
He's
I
at the
can't stand
3-point
it.
line a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you hear me constantly whining about Embiid. Like, go down there, get on the block, and go to work. Like, these guys in this NBA can't guard you. Why are you bailing them out by being at the 3-point line? But that's how a lot of these guys do it. So I don't know. I think Cat brings something interesting, and okay, so for instance, when the Knicks are playing against Philly, Embiid has to come out and defend him, right? He can't protect the rim anymore. He has to come out and whoever the other bigs are, they have to come out. Whoever he's playing, they have to come out and defend him offensively. So he lends that, which again creates more spacing. It's an interesting dynamic. But does he have the requisite Tibbs toughness, right? We know he knows Tibbs' defensive system, but does he really defend like that? Not that I recollect. I don't know if the Knicks got any better or worse. I think they got different. But again, I commend them for trying to make an actual move. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Bruce. He was expendable because of Naz Reid.
Naz Reid was balling.
Yep. No, great point, Bruce. But yeah, I think I don't know if Cat makes him better or worse. I think he makes him different and brings a totally different element, which could help the Knicks in terms of matchups. So, there's that.
Yeah.
Real quick, if you haven't already and you're here in the chat, please go ahead, click that like and subscribe button. Really appreciate you. Helps us out. And click the share button too, because share button is powerful. Helps bring more people in here and get different voices and get different thoughts and continue to help the channel grow. Yeah, so I don't know. Like I said, super shocked by this. I think it makes the Knicks certainly interesting, which is something that, any sports league wants its New York City teams to be good, right? Because
absolutely.
When New York City is relevant, that's money, that's viewership. What is it? 60% of all people in the United States live east of the Mississippi. So that
is that a fact?
Yeah, I believe so.
I mean, well, yeah, you look at these Middle Eastern states. Yeah.
Think about Atlanta, DC, Philly, New York, Boston, Florida. Miami. Yeah. Right. So, this part of the country, and obviously when New York City is humming, that's a totally different thing in terms of money for any for any business. Christopher says, I thought they would have traded Rudy first. So let me ask you this, Chris. Why would you think they would have traded Rudy first? I'm interested to hear your thoughts.
Rudy right
I think I know where you're going, but what was that, Transformer?
I said, who wants Rudy right now? That's my question. Like,
I think Rudy Gobert gets such a bad rap for doing what he does. Well, let me say this. I think Rudy Gobert he was born in the wrong time, right? Like, there were certain guys who played back then who would have been better now. Like a Sam Perkins or a Darko Milicic or something like that, right? Guys who were really perimeter-oriented bigs. Rudy Gobert is a guy who would have been better back then, right? Rebound, play defense, protect the rim. Like, that's him. But what happens is this. No, it's Christopher. It's not that Rudy doesn't listen to calls, right? Here's the problem. You have idiot coaches who want to go with this nonsensical mentality of switch everything in the pick and roll, right? So now what happens? You have, if you're a coach, and if I'm a coach, I got Rudy Gobert as my 5-man. Why would I play switch everything instead of doing it like how we used to when we came up playing ball, right? Let's say if I get caught in the pick and roll, I switch out on yours, I hedge just until you can fight through the pick, get back to yours, then I can get back to my original assignment or protecting the rim or whatever that was. Instead of allowing, because you're switching everything, a defense where, like we saw in the playoffs last year, I'm Rudy Gobert, I'm 7'2", I'm a shot blocker, rebounder, get caught on the perimeter and get put in the blender by Luka. Like, that's just stupid defensively. If you have this guy, why would you allow that to happen? So I don't blame Rudy. I blame bad coaching. So that's not that, Rudy wants to do his own thing. Rudy knows what he can and can't do. Yes, exactly. And right. And then you hear the sports media talking about, well, Rudy's unplayable in these games, sit him down, blah, blah, blah. No, idiot coaches are not running the right defense when you have that guy as your anchor. That's my problem. Christopher says, I don't mean coaches, bro. I mean when Ant-Man is motioning plays and he literally okay.
On offense, he's not playable. He's not playable on offense.
So here's the thing, right? If you watch, like, if you look up like Rudy Gobert or whatever on YouTube, and you watch him, he's a traditional, like, back to the basket big with that skill set. It's not that he's not, again, it's not that he's not playable. This guy was born in the wrong time. He's not right for this NBA. And again, if you know you got this guy, you need to put some stuff into your schemes, whether it's defensively or offensively, that takes advantage of his skill set. That's my thought, but I could be wrong.
2 pit bull dogs for a
cool.
cat. I think the Celtics benefited from this trade.
It's going to be
like
very
that,
interesting.
but the thing about it is that one of the pit bulls that the Knicks traded away all of a sudden didn't know how to work when it becomes playoff time. That's Julius Randle.
Great point.
That's my biggest downside about Julius Randle. He could definitely light you up in the regular season, but when that playoff lights turn on, Julius Randle just, it's like
not
he fades the black. He can't shoot. 3-point percentage wise, he just drops drastically. And I think that's why we just knew Julius Randle was going to be traded, right? So you knew that you were going to lose one dog. You had to lose one dog.
Especially watching the way Jalen Brunson went off in the playoffs last year, you kind of had the feeling like, weren't we on the show talking about what's going to happen when Julius Randle comes back? I think so, right?
Yeah, and I said he was going to get traded.
You did say that. That's right. Yep. Exactly. Yep. Trade him. Yep.
I immediately said trade him. I was like, yep, trade him. Get him out of there. I mean, obviously you saw what Jalen Brunson and the Knicks could do without Julius Randle at all in the playoffs. So, I mean, he took you guys that far. So if you give him a little bit more floor spacing, a little bit more shooting to go along, I mean, in a big man and cat, that's why I think I like the trade more than people think. I think that we're looking at the toughness part of it, right? Granted, Cat isn't the most toughest person in the world, but I mean, he's a big shot maker. I mean, he could put some balls in the basket. Pause. When Jalen Brunson needs that breather, Julius Randle just wasn't doing that. When it became the playoffs, Julius Randle turns to a shell. He can't shoot. He's turning over the ball, and it's like, okay, man, what's happening? So I'm pretty sure they're looking at Cat like, hey, when the playoffs come, we need you to still be that. And Cat like, I told you that. Yeah, I can still give you numbers, but yeah, super pause, bro, super pause.
No doubt. Eric 0215, appreciate you. I think you're new. Make sure you click that like and subscribe button, man. Helps us out a lot. Appreciate you. And make sure you hit that share button too, man. Let other people know about the show if you're enjoying it. Embiid will be killing Cat as usual. Embiid kills every big in the league, so this is not Embiid will be killing Cat. Like, when Embiid is healthy, there's no big in the league that can deal with him, and that's just a fact. And I know some people are gonna say Jokic this, Jokic that. Yeah, just go back and watch what happens when Embiid goes head to head with Jokic. He destroys him.
Kills him.
Kills him.
Like, it's not even close. It's like 40 and 17.
Like 40 and 20. Yeah.
Like,
it's bad.
Crazy,
it's bad what he does to him.
Embiid, I think he marks that date on his calendar. Like,
I think so too.
I'm about to cook this dude.
Because then right after that, he takes like 2 weeks off.
Yeah. Like he had a thumb injury or something out of nowhere.
Right. No doubt.
Your thumb was hurting, bro? Yeah, he was playing a video game and popped out or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. Crazy. But you got anything to add before we go ahead and open these phone lines up?
No, I mean, so what do you think about the roster, right? I know we were talking about Cat, right? So what do you think about the roster for the New York Knicks now? So, I mean, obviously they had to get rid of Julius Randle, which I knew that was happening. But of course, you should have known that a piece was going to come with it, and Divencinzo was that major key. What do you think about the compensation for the trade?
I think it's fair. Again, I would have loved to see if somehow Divencinzo could have stayed, because that's another shooter and that's another guy who will defend. That's another tough guy, and that's that's that heart and chemistry of that Villanova unit. But it's how rare is it that you got 4 guys from a national championship team in college on the same team in the pros, right? True. So I think we had to know that it was a nice story, but it ideally wouldn't have stayed together for any extended amount of time. So it would have been nice to see him stay, but it is what it is. It's also business. But you still got 3 of them, and you got a healthy OG Anunoby coming back. I don't know about the Knicks' depth, and honestly, Tom Thibodeau doesn't seem to care too much about
not at all. Everybody's playing 45 minutes.
Yeah, he gets his 7-8 guy rotation, and he's going to play him. That's why a lot of times they have difficulty going deep into the playoffs. So we'll see. I mean, I think the roster is going to be what it's going to be. Tibbs, I guess you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but he needs to find a way. And I'm not saying, of course, I'm not saying to load manage, but he needs to find a way to manage these minutes better than he's doing. This trade wasn't originally planned Mooka ways because DaQuan Jeffries sign and trade. The bench is that's what I thought.
The bench is thin.
But again, we know Tibbs doesn't care about that. So it's going to be what it's going to be.
What did Josh Hart? Josh Hart played, 3 straight games? No rest
48 minutes in the playoffs.
Yeah, right? It was like 3 straight games. Like, yo, Tibbs, get him a break. Nah, man, he out there balling. And Josh Hart was out there playing power forward. The boy's like 6'5".
Shooting threes, grabbing 20 rebounds out here.
20 rebounds.
He was not. Yeah, he didn't care. Hey, but you know what, though? Like, those are the guys Tibbs loves, though. You know what I'm saying? So, Nino report said it was either keep Cat or Reed. Exactly. And they love what Naz Reed had become for that team. So, they said, all right, Cat, you can go. And you know what? This is the beautiful thing for Cat. He's a New Jersey kid. So, he's going right back home to the tri-state. So he's chilling, and he's Dominican. He's probably going to be uptown in Washington Heights all the time. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Definitely. But so I think this is beautiful for him. He probably grew up rooting for the Knicks and all that. So like most of these cats who get a chance to play for their hometown teams, your Derrick Roses, your Stephon Marburys and all that, it's a beautiful thing when you get that opportunity on a professional level to do that. So hopefully all those things will help him to be a better version of himself. I don't know if he can ever get tougher. I don't know if he has the mindset for that. I don't think he does, but maybe being in New York, being in the Garden, being in the Mecca will help. So who knows, right?
Okay. All right. So that's New York. What do you think about Minnesota? Obviously, they got Dante DiVincenzo, and now you put Julius Randle at your 4. So now you got DiVincenzo because it's going to come off your bench because you're not going to bench Anthony Edwards and you're not going to bench Mike Conley for him.
Right,
obviously, Dante came off the bench in New York. So looking at the roster right here, Rudy Gobert at the 5, Julius Randle at the 4, Jaden McDaniels at the 3, AE at the 2, Mike Conley at the 1 off your bench. You got Joe Ingles, you got Naz Reid, you have Dante DiVincenzo, and you got Rob Dillingham, that rookie.
Oh, yeah.
Drafted. So
that's not a bad second unit, and depending on how you mix and match it. And I believe Minnesota's coach was Julius Randle's coach in New Orleans. And so he's got a good relationship with him, and he kind of likes, what Julius Randle brings to the table. So, excuse me, should be interesting, man. Should be interesting. But again, this is the West. The West is going to be difficult. And I think probably that we may be in a situation where they are still going to make another move, they being Minnesota. So I guess we just got to wait and see.
I definitely see it, man. I mean, for the life of me, I don't see how Rudy Gobert and Julius Randle and AE fit. To me, it just sounds weird. Like it doesn't make quite as much sense to me. I feel like one of those have to go. Like it's a missing key piece because one, you lose shooting and you gained toughness. I mean, AE's tough as it comes already. I mean, Julius Randle obviously a worse shooter than Karl Anthony Towns. Rudy Gobert not known for being a shooter at all. So now you only have AE, Jaden McDaniels, and Mike Conley. So I don't know. It's kind of a weird fit to me. Honestly, it's kind of a weird fit. I see maybe Julius Randle maybe moving again.
I don't
think his anchor is set in Minnesota. And that's just my opinion. So
right. Well, I don't know, man.
It's interesting, brother.
I know Minnesota's is looking and they're saying, well, we made it to the Western Conference Finals last year. We got hung up there. So if we want to get back there and advance to the NBA Finals, we have to do something. And I guess they felt like they couldn't get it done by keeping the roster as currently constructed. So,
The Knicks lost to the Pacers because of depth. Knicks repeating the same thing last season by doing this trade. I'm not happy with this when I think about the depth again. And I mean, depth again, because I think that's when Jalen Brunson hurt his hand, I believe, that series.
Yeah.
So when that happened, you ended up losing Michelle Robinson. You lost him as well in that series.
Robinson,
so I mean, it was quite bad, man. Once you lost those two, it was kind of writing on the wall. I definitely had the Knicks winning that series as well, but you can't really have much when you lose your anchor in the center and you already down Julius Randle and you lose Jalen Brunson. So
No, I can agree with that, but I think that realistically, as long as Coach Tibbs is your head coach, depth is going to be an issue because that's how he does it, you know. So we'll see what it is. Nino says, "Oh, nice says it's a blessing to have Cat and Brunson. Knicks are going to be very dangerous. Nice, you're new to the channel.
Nice.
Haven't seen you here before. Please make sure you go ahead, click that like and subscribe, and hit that share button, man. Let's bring some more people into the chat if you're enjoying the sports content that we're bringing you. Real quick, I know we got 3 basketball topics tonight. Normally it's football season, but basketball is coming and it's coming quickly, right? So these were some interesting topics that came up, but have no fear. Football is not going anywhere. We do right here on the channel, we do a weekly college football show as well, and we talk plenty of NFL. So have no fear if you're concerned about that. But yeah, Yoracle says now Brunson might have to play 40 minutes every night with Randle gone.
How many minutes did he play last year?
A lot.
Minute count
in the playoffs, man. Them guys.
Oh yeah, we was in the playoffs. I mean, everybody like. That's Tibbs' thing, bro. Everybody plays 45 minutes. You only get like 30 seconds each quarter. All right.
Yeah.
And that's it, bro.
He's an old breath. Like that's what he does.
Yeah. All right, back on the floor.
Yeah.
I need you, big fella.
That's how he coaches, man. That's how he coaches. But let's go ahead and you ready to open up these phone lines, Transformer?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's do it. Let's open up these phone lines. I'm gonna place the number in the chat: 904-219. 8264 904-219-8264, and the number scrolling on the bottom of your screen. You can go ahead, give us a call, give us your thoughts on this blockbuster trade sending Karl Anthony Towns to the Knicks and Dante Divincenzo and Julius Randle to the Minnesota Timberwolves. We'd love to hear your thoughts, hear how that affects each conference, hear how that affects each team, and yeah, let's get it.
And who do you think won the trade? If you think anybody won the trade, who won the trade?
Yes, who won the trade? Okay, Penn State is now up 14-7 on Illinois. All right.
My nose are down 9-14 to SMU, man. Come on, bro.
Wow.
Know, right?
Well, listen, I'm happy. My Irish got out of there with a win today. They've got a bye next week, and right.
Bad, man. I'm salty, bro. I'm salty.
The rest of the season. All right, let's see. We got somebody's calling from New York. Let's see who this is.
Yorkle.
Probably. New Yorker, New Yorker. Who's this?
Hey, it's nice. From Colorado.
Nice. What's up? I see you got the 347, man. You're a New Yorker?
Oh yeah. I kept my area code and everything.
No doubt. What part of New York you from? Nice.
I used to be from Harlem.
Okay. I used to live in Brooklyn, man. Good stuff. What you got, man?
So of course, I'm pretty sure that we all was bummed after seeing the news last night. Pretty sure that not a lot of people slept well, but man, I started thinking, like, can you imagine Brunson running? He's very crafty.
Yes.
And now you have Karl Anthony, somebody that moves, that's not going to stay stagnant.
Mm-hmm. So
if he sees somebody defending him on the out perimeter, he could run in. But at the same time, that's a player that you need to have 2 or 3 players trying to guard him. Somebody's gonna slip. And with the players that we already have, we got players that is shooting over 40%.
Yeah,
shooting over 40% and wide open.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't seen nothing.
Cool.
Go ahead, Transform.
No, I like what he's saying. I mean, he's definitely a big floor spacer. I mean, when you add Mikal Bridges, you have OG Anunoby, and you got Jalen Brunson. That pick and roll is going to be nice. I mean, I don't see nothing much than a lot of pick and pop action. I mean, because you're threatened by everybody that can shoot. You're literally threatened by everybody that can shoot. Now, like I said, you lose the toughness of Julius Randle, but I mean, to me, it's Tibbs. Tibbs gonna find a way to keep the toughness a part of that team. I don't think you losing Julius Randle and adding a Cat Williams, Karl Anthony Towns. Karl Anthony Towns.
Not adding Cat Williams.
Not Cat Williams.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
But think about it this way. Yeah, you're right. But man, I'm telling you right now, I feel like that's what they actually doing. Like I was about to say Cat William as well right now, but
See, there you
Karl
go.
Anthony Town. Just think about Karl Anthony Town. Let's say running running through the perimeter. Nobody, let's say, could defend him. I'm telling you right now, Brunson is so crafty that if a player is trying to defend him, he goes to the right. He makes them think that he goes to the right. He switch left. Somebody else is trying to guard him. They just trying to look for an open person. So I believe that they using Brunson and Karl Anthony Town just as decoy. Because once everything, let's say, once the actual defender starts spreading out and defending their player, I'm telling you right now, between Brunson and Karl Anthony Town, they gonna abuse the perimeter.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely see that. I definitely see that.
And I'm telling you, like last night, I was devastated. But just thinking about it, I'm started to like look at a couple of clips from Karl Anthony Town, how quick he is and everything. He has better numbers than Porzinga's shooting. He's better. Like even MB cannot keep up with him. As well, we got to think about the other dude from the Spurs that is about to come up. We don't want to have no type of problem with 7-footers. We have a problem with Mitchell Robinson. Everything changed with Mitchell Robinson, and that's no knock because if he's injured, he's injured. Is okay.
Right.
But we just got to be prepared. And I'm telling you right now, like I feel like the Knicks just felt like this is a blessing in disguise because we are in the position that we are at. We're like all the superstar that every team has. They're not gonna trade them that easy. It's very hard to see them trade, but seeing how Minnesota is having problems financially that they don't want to be there. Anthony Edwards, new contract, like negotiation. They're going to be speaking about. You cannot pay Gobert, Karl Anthony, and Anthony Edwards those type of money. So they needed to move him. So why not speak to them right now and let's just let's do full throttle, speed it through. Because they in a desperate position, but if other team they acknowledge it, it's gonna be more teams trying to fight it. This works.
True. And I see what Yorko's saying. Chemistry matters, so I hope they don't regret doing all this for Karl. They only lost one player, Dante Divencinzo.
Right. I don't think that
Julius Randle wasn't part of that chemistry that made the playoff run.
Yeah, he wasn't playing that much. Exactly.
He wasn't playing. He was hurt most of the season. So the chemistry, you only lost one player. You know what I mean? That's Dante Divencinzo, a tough player, granted. But I think you still have enough. I almost said nope, but nice. I'm messing up every word today, ain't I? You have a lot of floor spacing on that team with Jalen Brunson garnering most of your attention. Cat gets a lot of one-on-one action. But don't forget, I mean, like you guys traded for Mikal Bridges. That man is a bucket. And I mean, he can go get you a bucket at any moment. Great three-point shooter as well. So that's just, I mean, it just opens up the floor a whole lot for you guys offensively that I don't think you're going to have to work as hard defensively as you guys did last year.
I just want to say something real quick. On everything that you said is pure fact. But the funny thing is that we talking about Brunson and Karl Anthony Town, and we forgot about Mikal Bridges.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm telling you.
True.
I'm telling you, this team is going to, oh, my God. That, bro, if we just calm down, we start seeing how dangerous, like, there's a reason a lot of let's say, news and everything is giving us A+, A+, A-, but it's never B+ or nothing like that. The only reason they doing it is because they seeing it from afar away. We seeing it as a fan. We are too close to the TV that sometimes we are a little bit attached to players and we be seeing how they play and we be thinking about their potential if they stay here a little bit longer, but it's not that. All that potential, another player has it, but we just don't want to see it until they bring him here, like OG. He started playing a few games, and all of a sudden, wow, this was incredible.
Yeah, very true.
Well, I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see. Nice, man.
I like
just
it.
gonna have to
I like the
see.
trade, man.
I'm sure there's a lot of excitement, and you know, some people are feeling like the chemistry got damaged. One of my homeboys from Brooklyn, we were texting about it this morning, and he was saying that you know, that chemistry is damaged, losing Josh Hart and that not Josh Hart, I'm sorry, Divencinzo, and that means something. But you know, at the end of the day, we're just gonna have to see what it is, man. But I appreciate the call, brother. Thanks so much, man. Lock in the number, and yeah.
And last thing I'm gonna say, you guys know who was Joker nemesis like kryptonite?
Oh,
Karl Anthony Towns. I'm just saying, and I'll leave it there, guys. Love you guys, and have a blessing rest of your night.
Man, appreciate that, man. Lock in the number, and make sure you hit that like and subscribe. And turn on your notifications so you know when we're going live and when we're dropping shows, man. I appreciate you.
Will do. Much blessing.
All right, brother. Thank you.
Hey, man, shout out New York was in the building. Harlem was in the building, yo. Harlem, let's go.
You all right, man? You all right?
My bad, man. I got hype. My bad.